Mm.
Welcome to tonight's Sunday session. As you can see, we are recording, and a huge thank you to tonight's guest speaker, the Wonder Woman, Patty Wonder, who is joining us from New Zealand. And the reason we are having a fantastic guest speaker is because as a trend that came up through the Google Forms that I did with you guys, and a huge thank you to those who have made the effort to complete those forms, is that the trend that came up was something you guys were really keen for training on, was about bookings. So I went to the director's page and said, guys, who can help me with some training about bookings? Because, I think it's great to hear from other people who can, a different voice. And I had two fantastic volunteers, and one of them is the Wonder Woman. So I have spoken to another guest speaker and to Patty, and so I'm very grateful to have Patty come and chat to us tonight about bookings and how to get them, some great ideas, and I will hand it straight over to her. It is late for her in New Zealand, so thank you for coming along to train Soulful Sensations for our Sunday session. So over to you, Patty.
Hey everybody, my cat Shanti, anytime I do a video, my cat Shanti makes an appearance with her voice or with her body and her voice. So she's just showed up and started meowing, so just be aware. Meow. So for those of you that don't know me very well, you're probably going to soon find out that I am quite blunt. I probably think or tick a little bit different than a lot of people, or maybe I tick like you and you just haven't found me yet. And it was quite funny because when Chelsea put it up, I just private messaged her. I'm like, what do you want to know? I didn't really, I was like, oh, I'll help you. I was like, what? I think people make this way too hard. I just think people make this way too hard. I think they put way too much thought into it. And, I have to tell you, I've done, because before I do a training, I actually write my bullet points down and then I rewrite them in an order. And then I add or subtract or soften what I really want to say, because sometimes I come out and go, rawr, and then I kind of soften it to present. I actually had what I wanted to say, and then while I was doing my makeup, I was going over it in my head. And I changed some things and came back and rewrote it all actually within the last half hour. So it was before I hopped on, because I went on Facebook and I just saw a lot of things that I was like, oh God, that's why they're like, to me, there's certain reasons. I know why my team isn't booking. I know why my team isn't recruiting, because I can see it. I can feel it because I'm an empath. And so I just know the energy is a big thing. And so I really want to make sure I have that part of that in there. I have been in Scentsy since it started here in New Zealand. And I became a director in the first 7 months. I had 2 back operations in that time and earned my first free trip with Scentsy. And it kind of just took a life of its own. For the first 2.5 years, I probably did 2 to 4 parties a week. And within my first 24 hours, I had already had my first team member, and I did my first booking blitz, because I don't know what the hell that was. And they just told me what to say. And then I realized I was getting backlash because they were using the word wickless candle. And I had people messaging me back going, no, I don't do candles. No, I don't do candles. No, I don't do candles. I'm like, okay, you didn't understand the wickless. So I'm like, okay, I need to change the words. And then I changed the words to fragrance, home fragrance. And then I got 8 bookings within probably about a half hour, 45 minutes. Those 8 bookings got me parties for probably about 2.5 years. And most of those people are now on my team. So, and I would say 90% of my client base for about 2.5, 3 years was from those 8 bookings. So, I wanted to tell you this because I don't want to come to you and say, I call it the fat gym teacher syndrome, because when I was in school, I had a really, really, really fat gym teacher, and she would yell at us to run faster. But I always said, you run faster, because I've always had an attitude problem. Like, don't tell me what to do if you haven't done it yourself, because I have zero respect for that. And and that's why I tell you what I tell you. It's why I wear the charms. When I wear my charm necklaces to events, it's because, and I'm presenting, it's because I see it as my CV. I see it as my resume. Look, this, I'm not just telling you what to do and I'm sitting on my butt eating bonbons, doing nothing. So that's why I tell you. The one thing I can say is stop overthinking everything. Learn to connect with people. Everybody thinks I'm a party animal when they look at me and they think, woohoo, this is gonna be so much fun. And I am the biggest nana. I've never drank, never smoked. And I used to say I never did drugs, but then I went to California last year and had some edibles. So I can't say that anymore. Because I tried it for my fibro. So I have fibromyalgia. I have chronic pain. Last December, I had a very hard month. I lost 3 important things, people plus dog, in my life. And I really, really rough last couple of years since I've been in Scentsy, for sure, in my personal life. So, and part of that is the other part of this story. I know you guys probably want meat and potatoes of booking and say this and do this and, make this and offer that. And it's really not about that. I've never had a problem getting bookings, ever, ever. And I think I would say 98% of it is my attitude, because people would be stupid not to have one. But if you think they're doing you a favor, you're always going to struggle. So the first thing I would say, the most important thing in everything in this business is your attitude. It's your attitude. It's the vibe that you give off, and it's your energy. You don't have to be woo all the time. But my judgment, if I want to spend time with somebody, is, does the room get lighter or darker when you walk into it? Does drama always follow you? Are you still complaining about the same crap you were complaining about last year? I don't really want to be around you. I want to have anything to do with you. And other people don't either. They have their own issues. People don't need more serious. People don't need more dark. People don't need more drama, more bitching, more moaning, more complaining, more in their feeds. One of the greatest compliments to me is, oh, your post always make me laugh, and I knew it was your post because it made me smile, or oh, you're such a bright ray of light, or a breath of fresh air. People like to say that to me a lot. And that's a compliment for sure, because I'm extremely introverted, and I know that you don't probably believe that, but if you really ask the people that are close to me, they'll tell you. I don't like leaving my house. I find it really inconvenient, and I hate it. Get everything delivered. And if I don't have to people, I don't. So when you work your parties, you want to make sure that you're working them smart and you're doing all the work there, or you're doing it online. And your attitude, your vibe, your energy, your headspace, as soon as I leave the house, I have a Scentsy top on. I have Scentsy things on my car. When I'm at a stoplight, I'm really aware of what my face is doing. What is my face doing? Because the car next to me can see my branding. Are you yelling at your kids? Are you paying attention? You are kind of on. You just have to be. That's part of. I can hide. I can put a base when it's like days off and I don't want to people. I can take the magnets off my car. I can put a hat on, and I can just wear a regular t-shirt or a regular sweatshirt or whatever. And that's okay once in a while, but that doesn't really, I've learned to, basically, I don't care what people think of me. So I still look like I looked on the training call the other night. And I still hand out samples, because I still have to be intentional when I do leave the house to talk with people and to get to know people and to make people's smile. So one of the things I talked about in one of my trainings once was have somebody that knows you and loves you. When you're out in public, take photos of you when you don't know they're taking photos of you. And I want you to all look at your faces, your body language, and I just want you to look at them and seriously, not to cut yourself down or be all, I don't want people to look at me and I look terrible and stop. It's just yuck. Don't. Just look at the energy. Are you approachable? I have a really good friend in Scentsy. She's like, I'm approachable. And I went, are you kidding? I said, every time I see you on a Scentsy trip, you're sitting at a table by yourself, looking all mopey all by yourself. You are not approachable. You look like you're pissed off. She goes, do I really? I go, yeah. And she goes, oh my God, I think you're right. So if that's the energy you're giving off, people aren't going to be attracted to you. Like they don't want to be in that space because they don't want to piss you off or offend you. So be aware of that, because I'll tell you right now, I've had 3 people join my team. This was within like 2 months, and they just said, I just saw you from across the room. It sounds really weird. We were at a networking event, and they said to me, hey, we need to I want to talk to you about ordering warmers for my business. And I said, okay, but I had to do a quick, like 2-minute talk. I had 3 people join my team, and they said, I didn't know a lot, but I knew I liked your energy and I wanted more of that. So that's the same thing with party bookings or work bookings or whatever you book. Sometimes I think we categorize parties into this thing, and it doesn't have to be this set in stone thing either. So have a good attitude, have a good vibe, have great energy in person, in print, and in text. Don't just go and text somebody without saying, hi, hello, good morning, have a great night. Be polite, be considerate, be kind. It's all part of your branding. If you're just like, hey, do you need anything? Well, that's a different feeling, like, oh my gosh, how are you? You got any big plans this Sunday? Does it take more time? Abso-freaking-lutely. Does it pay off in the end? Abso-freaking-lutely. What you comment, what you like, what you post. Be the light in somebody's day, not the storm cloud. Add value to their day and to their life somehow. Make people smile. That's what I tell my team. I said, you know what, just try to make somebody smile every single day by a compliment and a sample. Every single day, minimum one. And that's where if I don't leave the house, I have to catch up on those days. And sometimes I don't let myself come home until all the samples are handed out. So a lot of things are about being intentional and being aware, not just being pulled into the current of life, but controlling the current. This business is all about relationship building. If your customers and your friends and your family, when they look at you and they don't think, oh, that's my Scentsy lady, if that's not the first thing they think of then you haven't been doing your job. Even if you're doing this as a hobby, your friends, because I know which ones of my team members just do this to place their order every 4 months. And let me tell you what, their customers, the good ones, contact them every 4 months with their orders, and they're proactive. There's nobody else they're going to order from. So whatever that conversation is like, whatever that intent is, it's there and it's set and it's communicated. Then there's excuses versus reasons. Everybody thinks they have reasons. Oh, I didn't do this, or I didn't do that because of this and because of that. And at some point, you're going to have to take responsibility for it and realize it's probably not a reason, it's an excuse. It might sound like a reason to you, but I'll tell you one thing I've totally learned in this business. Your worst day is somebody's regular day, and they're still going through worse things than you are, and they're still getting more done. And so I don't accept excuses. I just don't. Just fess up. I didn't do it. I was lazy. I made excuses. Great. What are you going to do about it? Do you want something more? How are you going to change it? It doesn't have to be so complicated. You just have to stop hiding from your sponsor when you're not doing anything and just front up. Be an adult. Own it. I say this, and I know not everybody's like this, but I say this and not to talk about myself, but to give you an example. My man, the only reason I'm in this country was because of him. We met online. He died on the 22nd of December last year. And I still had 2 parties that week, and I did them. We did change one to an open house because it was there were people already knew me, and they brought me gifts because I've been their Scentsy lady for a while. His funeral was on the 4th of January. I went to the funeral. I spent an hour or 2 afterwards with some friends, and I had a party that afternoon. And then I had to go to a memorial gig because he played guitar in a band and things at night. Could I have canceled? Absolutely. Would they have been okay with it? For sure. But part of my branding is being reliable, dependable, keeping my word, doing what I say what I'm going to do. And honestly, it wasn't about me. It was about my host. She had people coming over. She had made a lot of food. But it was also an escape from my life for a couple hours. If you do this business right, when you are doing Scentsy, it has nothing to do with you. It always has to do with making other people smile and getting them free stuff. Like, that's legit your job. And to offer it to as many people as you totally can. Not caring about what you look like, what they might think of you, if they'll say yes, if they'll say no. You guys have heard the coffee analogy probably a bazillion times. Do you want a cup of coffee? I hate coffee. Do you think this waitress cries every time I go? No, thank you. Do you think she quits her job and throws her apron on the ground and walks out of the job because I'm not doing this anymore? Nobody wants coffee. Well, if she would have asked 6 more people, they would have had a freaking cup of coffee because they probably love coffee. I do not. So you are offering something. Is it going to be for everybody? No. Should you take it personally? No, not unless they actually cut you down and said something. And even then, it's just their opinion. How many people are you asking? My team knows to never come to me and say, I can't get any bookings. Because I immediately go, and how many people have you talked to? And they will reply with, not enough. They know this business is a numbers game. It's a people game and a heart game, but it's also a numbers game, because even when you talk to 100 people a month or whatever you choose to, not all those 100 are going to care that month. But 3 months from now, it might work, just not this month. So if you keep doing the consistent work month after month after month after month, it pans out. I was looking at my incentive tracker thingy, and I just laughed because I'm pretty much done with my free ticket to Bermuda. But I looked at, because I'm way over the amount of points I needed for non-PRV points. And I looked, and most of my non-PRV points are from older consultants, not from newbies. Everything in this business, you just have to be consistent, no matter the results that you immediately see or don't see. I've never had to work for a trip and I've earned them all. I've never had to work for bookings. I mean, once in a while I'm like, ooh. And usually, honestly, if I look at my calendar, if my month is quiet, something 2 months ago was taking up my time in my brain, because everything in this business is your brain. If you don't have control of your brain, you don't have control of your business or your day or your calendar or anything else. So what I thought when I went to Mexico in January after Earl died, I actually thought I was doing really well. I was doing my follow-ups for Bring Back My Bar while I was in my hotel in Mexico. I brought my list with me, and I was, because I stay up late, so I was, and it was daytime here, so I was like, all right. And I just kind of, all of a sudden, I thought I was doing all the right things, but I wasn't actually. I am 2 books. I usually try to book 2 months in advance. You should never flip your calendar over and go, uh-oh, I don't have anything. You should already have had that booked. You should know, like now, your next month should be booked. You shouldn't be waiting to see what, oh, I'll worry about it the 1st of November. Nope. And especially, I don't know how it is over there, but here, most people want like a 2, 3, 4 week head start, if you will, to book a party. Some people do it faster. Right now, I'm booking what I have left. I'm like, well, I'll tell you what I have left. And so that's part of trying to like not completely go off track, because I know there's things coming. But let me see what I put. Are you asking? Okay, here's the other thing. I hate the word ask when it comes to bookings. I know everybody goes, you have to ask this many to get that many. Well, I believe if you're asking, it has to do with you. Because when we ask people, would you be interested in having a party? It sounds like you're trying to pitch something for yourself. It doesn't actually sound heartfelt or natural or fun or anything. But when you offer it, or you give it to them as a solution in conversation, and you are connected with them and you've built a relationship, you can easily, like somebody just said today, honest to God, I was sitting here and I got a text that said, hey, Patty, I remember you saying something a while back about different parties, like you just drop off your testers or something, and we get the orders together and give them to you. Do you do that? Is that what you said? And I said, yeah, I can do that, and she goes, oh, I don't know if I'd have enough for a whole party. And I said, well, I said, you'll get the rewards. And she goes, oh, I don't know if I have enough for that. And I said, well, you at your last party and at your sister's party, all those people might have to reorder. Plus she's got a nail business. And I said, well, what about your clients and things? I said, you never know. So will I have to coach her a little bit? Yeah, probably. Would I be coaching her anyway? Probably. But that just happened. The other day I had somebody, and this is happening more and more to me, is I had somebody message me and go, hi, do you do parties in where she lives? And I said, yeah, that's right up the road. That would be amazing. How did you find me? And she just said, I was in a group and I asked who did Scentsy, and a bunch of people put your name down. And she went to every single person's page that people referred. And I said, well, what made you stop at mine? And she's like, I loved your videos. I'm like, oh, cool. She goes, oh, I like this. And I like that I'm consistent. Every single day without fail, I post something on my business page. 80% Scentsy, 20% personal. On your personal page, it should be 80% personal and 20% business. And then my VIP group. And so it's taken me a long time. This isn't like a sprint, it's a marathon. And when it comes to social media, you don't want to go to, if you're looking for somebody to help you with a product and you look at their Facebook page, and the last thing they put on their business page, well, first, they don't have a website, which is just ridiculous. So I won't do business with anybody who doesn't have a website. Second of all, the last thing they posted was like in April or May. Yeah, I won't have anything to do with them either. Because to me, I don't even know if they're still doing it. Because it looked like they're not. And if I go to their page and if I can see anything, it's going to look deserted or something else. Like, would I know just because there's an old picture of old warmers, because I know that, in their banner? Are you paying attention? These are little things that even if you do this as a hobby, these can help you make some more money without doing more work. You're directing people. You're showing people who you are. Um, Everything I post on my personal page, on my personal profile, is public. Every single thing. I firmly believe that if you don't want the whole world to know it, it shouldn't be on Facebook. I don't care if it's just marked for your friends or not. But I want people, when other people comment, their friends can see, and then they can comment, and then their friends can see, and they can comment. So what you do, what you say, how you act, your attitude, your energy, again, it all encompasses everything you do. And all of that also helps with bookings. When people want to be what you have and you make it fun and you make it like, oh my God, that's cool. Are you showing them everything? Are you just showing them things you like? Are you only giving samples to things that you like? Or do you give them samples of things you don't like? Most things in the scents things I don't like. I like the woods category. That's my little category. But I give out lots of, and you know what? The things I hate the most, I give out fastest because I don't want it in my house because I can smell it. It's usually the sweet things. So I don't know if this is exactly helping you, but I'm trying to get you into a different headspace about booking, because booking isn't hard, but your headspace and where your head is at makes it either easy or hard, or it makes you take it personal when it's not. And so that's really, because if you just go and you ask or offer or converse with or bring up in conversation, it becomes just part of your lingo. You just kind of, I had somebody that just messaged me and said, oh, thank you for dropping off my order. I love the look of the new products, blah, blah, blah. And I said, oh, hey, if you want to get together for a smelling session, we should do that, because I don't think you've smelled the new scents lately. I said, let me know. That's how I drop it into conversation. Smelly session. Now, a smelly session could be her and I just meeting for coffee. And sometimes I think we just go in right for the kill of a party, a party, a party, a party. Some people aren't party people. But if you said, hey, you want to meet for coffee somewhere, and I'll bring the scents and I'll buy you a coffee, if you can otherwise have her buy her own coffee. I do a lot of that. There's a certain beer place, I don't drink, but they have great food and snacks and coffee and bar and whatever. And I said, you want to meet me there? And we'll just, and that's like an hour session. But what I do is I booked someone at that time. I put a thing out that says, hey, I'm doing one-on-ones. If you haven't smelled the new scents, come, I'll buy you a coffee and you can smell the new scents. And I can book one right after the other, or I'll each tell them to come at the same time, and now I have a party. Sometimes people don't want to have a party. They're just not party people. But how else can you get in front of them, create the relationship, build the rapport, have some laughs, spend some time together? They always place an order. I can make a party order from just a one-on-one or a one-on-two, because the connection is stronger. And when your connection is stronger, people buy from people. Yes, they like the product. But think about when you go car shopping, or think about when you go buy things and you're comparing things. A lot of times you can buy the same thing at different stores, but you like the certain salesperson better. They connected with you. You liked them. They made you smile. They went out of their way for you. They thought about you and your needs. They gave you a deal. They thought of you. That's the difference. If you're always going, oh, I don't have any, I need party bookings and I can't get any. Would you have a party for me? And I've been challenged to book this many parties. Again, that's about you. It has nothing to do with your people. I don't really do a lot of booking blitzes anymore. Sometimes if somebody wants them, I'll go, okay, we'll do one. But I really try to tell people not to blast it out like a let's throw shit at a wall and see what sticks and book some parties, because people want to do me a favor. Parties usually don't work that well for me anyway, because they think that you just need butts in the seats. No, I actually need them to bring their disposable income and their credit cards, butt in the seat or not. My parties that are 5 people are way bigger than my 20-person parties. They just are. And I think it's because of the intimacy. And I think it's because we just hang out. And am I shy and do I hate talking in front of people? Absolutely. Do I completely hate going to do a party? And then I'm like, and I get really warm. Yes. And then when it's over, I get in my car and go, oh, yes. Still to this day, I still feel that way. But I also see what it does. I see where it's taken me. So that little itty bitty time that I have to be uncomfortable, I can do that. And then I'm not uncomfortable with them anymore. So you kind of have to get uncomfortable to really see what past that. How many we went through how many building relationships. I used to go, what the hell does that mean? And then I actually realized that really is the job. It's all about building relationships. If you aren't adding, like after a party, I put all my party orders on a clipboard and then I hang my clipboards up. And I add them all. I invite them to be friends on Facebook. Because for me, who's anti kind of social, I also am allergic to children, so I don't really go places with children. And so it limits, and look, I'm an immigrant. I have big hair. No, I'm an immigrant. I live in the country. I'm an introvert. I don't really like leaving my house. How am I going to make these connections, right? How am I going to get these bookings every month? Well, when I have a party, I'm going to really make sure I'm going to book from the party. So what do I have in place for that? So the one thing that works really well for me is I have a 3-party thing that when I go over the tab, because my catalogs have tabs. So the booking tab is the yellow tab, because yellow always means sale bargain to me, like when I think about signs and things. And I say, look, this is how you earn free and half price Scentsy. Just grab some of your friends. You can do it at work. You can do it at school. I can set up in a meeting room. I can give you a bag of things and you just have the party and I'm not invited. And they all go, ha, 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 ha. And I'm like, no, I'm serious. Like give them options, because not everybody's thing is going to be a home party. I can't have a home party here. This is all the seating space I have right behind me. That's my front door. This is my back wall. A very, very tiny little place. So I couldn't, but I could work the hell out of an online event. Can I do them for other people? Well, it's something I'm working on, because it's not my strong point. My strong point is in person, because I can read a room and I can read body language and I can address it. So when I sit and I talk about this is how Susie's going to earn her free and half price product based on the sales of this party. If you or when you book your smelly session with your friends, I'm sure some of these will come and they all go, yeah, I'll come. You will get the free and half price things. And Susie is going to get another half price thing. Now, when 3 of you do your own smelly session, Susie's going to get a free warmer from me, free. Whatever warmer she wants, free after that third party has held. And that's just something special I do for my customers. That's not a Scentsy thing. Susie gets them to book. Susie makes sure they hold it. Susie knows they all have to be qualified. So I don't have to do as much work. I still host coach and all those kind of things. And a lot of times it is hostess coaching, of reminding them that, hey, don't forget, if you have $300 in orders and a couple party bookings, by the time I get there, I have an extra gift for you. That could be anything, really. But that's something that I do. But then you think about your samples. Now, I was trained 50 samples given out to strangers every month and 10 joint packets every month. I keep them in my car when I go through the drive-through. And it's not just a sample. I give them a joint packet. So they get a join packet, and it's got samples in it, and it's got confetti in it, and it's got, that was a Chloe Cox. If you haven't watched her OG Boss Babes video series, I can't recommended enough. But there's a catalog in here. There's my story brochures in here. It's basically a recruiting pack, but all I do is put a hostess letter over the top of it if I book a party with it. It's the same thing, information you want your host to have. So have things ready and prepared. Are you giving out 50 samples a month to new contacts? Are you getting their information? Totally going to do a sample and run. Absolutely. I still do that. I still pick it out. But I do look at people's name tags sometimes. So then I can come back and go, hey, what did you think about that sample? I was sick in that day and didn't get the information. Every time somebody gives you a receipt, you give them a sample and a compliment. Compliments. I know that, I don't know about Australia, but New Zealand, people don't give out compliments a lot. It's really weird. They could think nice things, but they don't say it to people. In America, we compliment everything we see that we like. So for me, it's just an automatic, oh my God, I love your shoes. And it's immediate conversation. And when I've had that little conversation with her, I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to give you some. Do you have a Scentsy? That's my new thing. Do you have a Scentsy lady? And they go, a what? And I'm like, good enough. And I hand them a sample. And we've already had the little back and forth bits, you know? So it's a little bit more natural than just going up to somebody. You know, when I first started this, I just put a list of 50 in my notes in my phone and then went. And sometimes when you go to people's offices and deliver things, you go, you know what? We should have a work party. I'll just set up in a lunchroom and people can just shop and go home. So they don't even have to go anywhere to buy stuff. Like, when's payday? I'll come that day. Like, think about them and what gets them, what would be easy for them, convenient for them, fun for them. The sign on the side of my car just got me 2 party bookings. She's booked a work one and a home one. And then she's actually thinking about joining. So yeah, all she wanted was a catalog when I dropped it off. And then she came over. And I friended her right away on Facebook. And she's like, oh, I brought you an ornament because of my ornament movement thing that I'm doing right now. She goes, and I'm thinking about joining. All she did was see the thingy on my car. And when she came over, I was in sweats and a baseball hat. Like, it was my day off. I friend. Ooh. Yes, ma'am? No. I friend people on Facebook. So when I go home, I try to invite them all to be my friends so that I can get involved. I offer them like to go in a drawing when they take a picture of their order setup, whatever they ordered, and they tag me. They go into a draw to win like a scent circle or something that month. Free advertising. People go, oh, where'd you get that? Oh, where did you get that? All these things are just your business, but they kind of compound into bookings because people see you, they get the positive vibe, they know their friends like it. The party I just did last weekend, a lady called me a couple days later and she's like, this is, she was very confused at the party. It was really overwhelming for her. And she's like, could you do a party for me? And I said, of course I can. And she goes, it might not be, lots of people. I said, you know what? 5 to 8, 10, it's all you need. She goes, oh, I can do that. People have this idea that they need a house full, but they don't. They just need good people. And I do coach people about parties. And when people see the free things that they're getting at the parties, and when you explain that, oh my God, so-and-so got this much in free, she would have paid this, because I do events on all my, I put parties on my business page in the events. So most of them, a couple of them will do their own now. And I'm in there as a co-host, but on mine, I do them so people can see that I have consistent party bookings. I put them in my PWS to show up on my PWS. So when people look at shop a party, they can see a list. They don't see nothing. And you should always have your own party there as well anyway, and call it something clever. But are you having your own parties? Are you having an open house? Are you having a holiday open house? Are you having a summer kickoff party? Are you having a barbecue for your customers and your VIPs? Are you having, I think the word party gets such a concrete meaning to it that, oh, you're going to be the host and you're going to invite people to your house. It really doesn't have to be that. And sometimes it's the layering. I always say it's the Shrek effect. Shrek always said he was like an onion. He's layers. And sometimes that's how my parties are. And that's how I get bookings, is just from layering. First, they get a catalog. They attend a party. They buy one thing. They get their thing at home and they love their thing. And then they contact you about a party. Or maybe that they went to a party, they haven't ordered for a while. You get together for a one-on-one smelly session. All of a sudden their list is really long and you're like, could you get a couple people together so that you can maybe get some of this for free and half price? And she's like, oh. And sometimes it's just asking the question and reading the body language. Again, you don't have to make it complicated. Part of conversation. And I know that if it's something that you haven't put in your normal interactions, that it takes some time and practice. Give your kids and your husbands or people in your house or something objections and text them during the day to try to get them to book a party. See if you can win them over, but tell them not to be completely mean to you. Like, but maybe do it to each other and see what kind of reactions you get and see what kind of feedback you get. Is it smooth, or can I tell you're just like about booking? I can tell when people are like, it's not part of conversation. It's just like, you should book a party. Or when Earl was in the hospital, I used to laugh because I said, here's a box of samples. Since you're laying here all day, you should put some work in. I said, I expect you to give out these. There's drawing slips there. Get people's information. And he always had a warmer in his room because of the different things that were going on with his body. We needed good scent in it then. And I remember the lady walked in and said, oh my God, it smells amazing in here. And Earl said, you should book a party. And I was like, oh my God, don't do that to people. And she's like, no. She immediately was turned off. Immediately. It took me like 2 more weeks of going in there and seeing her and going, hey, how are you? Oh, did you smell the new scent that we have in there? It's pretty good, huh? And me giving her things to kind of calm her down and take her off the defense. I looked at Earl and he goes, but isn't that what you want? And I said, that's really like, and he didn't have that because he was in sales, but he just believed in being direct and to the point. And I was like, thank you, but you just scared the crap out of her. That was very unnatural, and that had nothing to do with anything else that we were talking about. Your customer service, are you putting things in your bags when you deliver orders? Are you in the VIP group? Do you text them specials? Do you have a newsletter? Are you following up continually? Because I'll tell you what, when you do your Amy follow-ups, oh my God, a lot of times they'll be like, ooh, I should probably get together, shouldn't we? I need to reorder and so do some of my friends. I should probably have a party. Yeah, you probably should. That's a good idea. I usually go, yeah, that's a good idea. And know your calendar. That's always been one of my number one things. Know your calendar. So I have, right at this time of year, I have 2, but I have calendars that I take with me. Now this goes in my bag when I'm not at a party, but at a party, it's always obviously in my bag. It's got everything crossed off of it. I don't do parties Monday, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays. I do them Thursday, Friday, Saturdays, and Sundays. So, basically, I just hand this around. Go ahead, put your name and whatever date you'd like and what time. And then I give them a little packet. But it helps them visualize. You can't be doing crap on your phone because people will literally try to visualize this. And they can't. And they'll be trying to count which ones are payday. This is really easy. You hand them the calendar and they go, okay, so we get paid here and we get paid here. Okay, can we do it on that? And they look at everybody going, everybody's okay? Yep, okay, great. And then they're like, does it matter what time? I'm like, nope, go ahead. Preferably not a morning, but go ahead. Please God, not a morning. But I have. I've done mom and baby groups at like 9 o'clock in the morning, and everybody brought their baby and just laid them on the floor. That was an interesting one for me. It was a great party though, because the babies were good and they didn't really move a lot at that point. So it was just moms in a circle smelling stuff and placing orders. So, and then they stay and hung out and did the mommy thing. So how can you work I've done a stitch and bit group where I've done what else have I done? I just get invited to be like entertainment. It's true, but it's true. So when people call me, like, okay, when I say I think you should have some friends, they're like, okay, yeah, let's do that. And I say, weeknight or weekend? Oh, let's do a weekend, Saturday or Sunday. What about a Sunday afternoon? Great. 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock? Ooh, would you do 3 o'clock? Yep, I can do 3 o'clock. Great. So Sunday, at this time. It should be that quick, that seamless, because if you waffle, they will waffle, and then there'll be hesitation, and then they won't book. Or they'll be like, I'll get back to you. And then you're going to have to hunt their ass down, and you're going to have to stalk them. Let's all be real. Always two choices, and know them. So you're not waffling going, I think I can do that. I'm going to have to check my diary at home. I'm going to have to check this. Only thing that goes on here is Scentsy stuff. My vacations go on here. The free trips I earn go on here. Everything goes on here. Free trip to Mexico on there, right? And then because when I travel half the month for Scentsy, I have to make sure I have parties booked when I get back, because I still got to work, right? So let's see, what else do I have? Consistency. I talked about 50-10. I have people that come back to me to book even though their friends have joined Scentsy, because their friends stop treating them like customers and start treating them like friends. So they don't do the fluffy bags. They don't do the handwritten notes. They don't do the treats in the orders. They don't get treated special. They get their crap thrown in a bag and handed to them because they're their friends. I just had that happen. And I have tried to guide and mentor this other consultant. She's not listening. I'm like, all right, I'll take you back. And this lady spends a good couple $100s a month. Idiot. Use some curling ribbon. Put some tissue paper in it. And I spray the tissue paper with, fragrant and things. Put a little effort in. It matters, and it will get you bookings, because even at that party, she was like, you should have a party because you should see when Patty's party orders come and everything's wrapped so pretty. You'll be so happy. You just don't know what's going to get you a party sometimes. The key is to just get a whole bunch and then keep those rolling for you, so you don't have to work so hard at always worrying about where your bookings are coming from. Are you thinking of you and your business and not your customers? And we talked about asking versus offering. One-on-ones, don't underestimate them. Really don't. And even when you book a one-on-one, say, oh, let me know if you end up bringing another friend along so I can bring her some goodies too. Now, she would have maybe not thought about doing that, but you just planted the seed to invite somebody else, which could get you a party order, just the 2 orders. So it wasn't me going, hey, who else could you bring? It was, if you have anybody else that might want to, if you have any friends that are free and they want to come along with you, just let me know ahead of time so I can make sure I have some goodies for them. It's about them. Is it about me? For sure it's about me. But it's about them, the way I deliver it. Events. When you're doing events, market stalls, it's not really about selling the product, because you don't want a one-time sale of whoever wants the latest deal at whatever freaking market. You want them to connect you to more people. So what can you offer? Usually I offer a free mini warmer, or I offer a free something because you use your perpetual. If you can't do that, what else could you do? Could they go into a drawing for something? Because then you have some extra money that next month to put it to. Whatever that is, or using some of the hostess credit. But have something and make it fun. I think one of my new consultants did a fair recently, and she did little envelopes, so they each had prizes in them or something, The sniff and sip and sniff, I know was used because of wine or coffee and having scent. I just use it, and I use smelly session because it's just part of my lingo now. Um, I don't use party that often, and it's not because I get negative feedback from it. It's just I don't want to sound like everybody else. I think that's more my thing, whether it's a Tupperware or a, I don't even know if they're in business anymore, or a Pure Romance, or I don't want to say party because I don't want. Businesses, have you went to all the businesses in your area and left a warmer there and some scents? Because a lot of times if I've done that, they've booked a party because they all love stuff and they want, can we just have you in and do a party? And a lot of times I just do it right there. They'll have me in after closing, or they'll have me there and then I'll give them a bag party and they can continue on with their customers or clients. You just don't know. You just always planting seeds, always planting seeds. Fundraising. When you do fundraisers, are you making sure you're getting everybody's information? Are you putting stuff in the bags that offers free stuff? Do you know that this catalog, you can get anything in this catalog, almost, almost anything in this catalog for free? You can pay full price, half price, or free. Which would you prefer? That's just one of those things. People's jobs. When you deliver party orders to people's, or just even just one order to someone, even if it's a bar, when you deliver a bar to somebody at her workplace, you better make sure you have at least 20 washer whiff samples along and some product sheets and maybe some sample of the month and whatever, some goodie bags and a catalog, because, and make it into a pretty gift bag, because people are going to see it and going to go, oh, I want what she's getting. And then sometimes the party books. And you talk to the receptionist. You don't shy away from everybody. And I know it's scary if you're introverted like me, but you just have to just suck it up and have a little bit of courage and give them a compliment, and it gets the ball rolling. I swear it's way easier if you just give them a compliment. Obviously be sincere. Like, if her hair's a hot mess and it looks like it was put in a light socket, don't go telling her how beautiful her hair is. Open houses, your own or other people's. One thing that we do every single year is we have a Team Wonder Bar holiday sniff and shop. And so this is our postcard for this year. But we have specials on this night, and we do this every we get together as a team, and everybody brings pretty much everything, the entire catalog, so people can see everything. It's all set up. There's Christmas music. Everybody gets a goodie bag. And there is a special for booking by a certain date. There is a special for purchasing, also in the party order. There are drawings. There are games. They also get to feel the team. So it's part of that. Oh, this is fun. Excuse me, my throat is very dry. Egg parties, theme parties. I think in the new year, I'm going to start doing spa parties. I just have to get some supplies. Excuse me. Flo Ramaneskis does a monthly bingo. One of my new team members does a monthly bingo. That's a party. And they bring more friends to come play bingo, and they bring more friends to play bingo. Most of my parties are bingo parties, so I play bingo at all my parties. And I used to change all my games every catalog. Everybody likes bingo, so I just kind of keep it. I said, "Do you want me to get rid of it and bring new games?" And they're like, "No, we want to play bingo." All right. Schools, go into the schools, see if you can do something for the teachers. Preschools, I have a lot of preschools as customers in their tax write-offs, spas, salons. But a lot of times those people will get you parties because somebody in there will see the items. And then I ended up going into the preschool and putting up a display, and then everybody came and place their orders, and then the school placed their order. So sometimes just think differently about parties. Doesn't mean it has to be in your house. Doesn't have to be in somebody's living room. It doesn't have to even be a bag party. What works for your customer? What's basically your customer is a connector to other people. What are they involved in? What do they do? How do they function during their day? What are they involved in? And how can you be part of it somehow and be introduced to those people? What does that look like? And how can you reward them? What would they be like? Loving. Could I give you that for free if you could introduce me? Could you? I did this with a couple of my team members did this and did really great. Can you give 10 samples and with these pads or whatever, they're purple now, I think in the store, give somebody 10 of these. They have to fill it out completely. And then that person that gets you 10 new leads gets a gift from you if you get them all 10 filled out correctly. That might get you a party. So control your calendar and commit to it. Try to work, in my opinion, 2 months forward or a month minimum. Schedule and stick to it. I always hear things about going, oh, my husband's not supportive and things like this. Work your calendar. When can you do Scentsy? When is your Scentsy time? When is your family time? When is your man time or woman time? When is your time? Because especially you moms, you need some sort of chunk of time for yourself. You're going to just not be the good girl all the way through because you're going to be exhausted. So put those in and then figure out where your Scentsy time is. And when it's Scentsy time, if my calendar says Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and I don't have anything booked, guess what I'm doing Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday for at least 3 hours? I'm working because that's my work time. That's what I've allotted. Just because I don't have a party doesn't mean I get to sit and watch Netflix. I might watch Netflix, but I also might be texting 900 people while I do it. So if your husband or your partner sees that you are committed to this and you're treating it as a business, they will have more respect for it. And if you are doing things consistently and sticking to them, your business will grow. I swear. And things will happen because you're doing them consistently. And my partner wasn't super supportive. And he just kept saying, well, you're going to have to go back to work. I said, no, I'm not. I'm not going back to work. I'm going to earn a trip to Mexico. And he said, stop telling people that. And I said, that's not how this works. You should all be telling everybody you know that you're going to Bermuda. If you're not telling people you're going to be, it's because you doubt yourself. And why are you doubting yourself? Because you're not putting in the work? Or what is that? Because I said, oh, as soon as they announced the trip, I crossed it off my calendar. Of course I'm going. And I've done it since the day I started. Of course I'm going. And he doubted me. He goes, stop telling people you're going to Mexico. You haven't earned it yet. I said, that's not how goal setting works. And when I earned it, I chucked it at him and said, I told you I was going to Mexico. And it's kind of been my attitude ever since. Are you reaching out to Chelsea? Are you reaching out to your sponsor? Are you reaching out to people and saying, I want you to hold me accountable. I'm scared out of my mind. Because I'll tell you what, if you say this week, because normally every week I have like a 2 bookings. My goal is like 2 bookings and a certain dollar amount. Guess what? If it's Sunday and I still don't have those 2 bookings, guess what I'm doing on Sunday? I'm going to get the other bookings. And how do I do that? I literally text and say hello to people and comment on people's photos and private message them and find out how they're doing, because I want to be involved. And then I can slip the party thing in. Like, oh my God, we should totally catch up. I'll bring my Scents over. Oh yeah, do that. I haven't done that. Oh, cool. Do you want to invite anybody over to get some free stuff? Oh, just a couple of people? Yeah, okay. It's not a transaction. It's just a topic in conversation, like the weather. Stop making it awkward. I have that in here. Keep it easy. Part of conversations, practice it. Even if you have to walk around the house, just rolling it off your tongue. People always say, what do you do? And I say, oh, I make everything smell better. And they want to know more. An elevator pitch is if you have to go 1 floor up in an elevator and someone says, what do you do? what would make them ask you more questions about what you do? What would intrigue them? Because I remember I used to stumble over we have warmers and we have wax, like this home fragrance stuff. Oh, and we do laundry and we do, oh my God, they're like, get me out of the elevator. So what about just coming up with something that's yours? For me, I was at a networking event and we had to talk to so many people it was like speed networking. And I finally, because I had brought samples for everybody, I had called ahead and said, how many people are expected at this thing? And then I went and made that many samples and I just went and met everybody. And that was my goal, get through all the people. I don't care what they think of me. I don't care if they talk to me. I just need to get my name out there. When I go to events, it's just to be seen. It's just to say hi. It's just to form communication and connection and relationships. It is literally to create the brand. That's it. Like the rest kind of comes to fruition with that. Make it fun, keep it light, be prepared. Whenever I'm really stuck, I go to, if you go to Christina Stainbrook's video on how to become a director in a month, she has something called the 90-day slay. And you've probably heard me talk about this 1,000 times before, but the 90-day slay is a sheet. And it basically has everything on it you need to do for your business. And every single day, it basically says, share opportunity with 5 people, ask 5 customers to host any style. Every day, 5 people, 5 people, 5 people. When in doubt, I do this sheet because I always get something out of it every single time within the first day. I always get something. And I guess I don't know if this is exactly the nuts and bolts, and I know the other person you have coming is probably going to give you lots of other information, and it might be more meat and potatoes, but I do believe 98% of this business is attitude. It is literally going, oh my gosh, I want 4 parties a month, and I have 1 for next month. Well, you have 4 more days of the month. What are you going to do about it? I suggest you get a party every day. And I don't mean you message 10 people and they all say no and you give up. I mean you contact people until they're done. That's how you do this. If you always give up, what if that next one was, what if the next one was the yes? And you didn't. And then the next day you forget her, because if you have a brain like mine, you'll forget. Because I do. All my concussions I've had recently. You just keep going till it's done. And if you say, oh, I've asked everybody, you haven't. You heard Faith the other day. You haven't. Have you asked every single friend on Facebook? And if they don't live in this country, have you asked them to join? Have you asked every single person in your phone? Have you asked every single person that your kid knows or is connected to in some way, shape, or form? And your partner, and your coworkers, and your last coworkers, and your family, and your friends, and your friends' friends and family? Have you went to every business in your town? Have you went door knocking? Have you talked to the neighbors? Have you went to the gas station? Have you went to the laundromat? Have you went to all the restaurants? I actually went into some restaurants just to eat the other day, and the Indian guy said, hey, what do you do? And I was like, the hell? And I said, I make everything smell good. And he goes, and I said, here's a catalog. He goes, could you bring something in and put it here in this area? Oh, yeah, sure I could. I had 2 or 3 different people do that to me because they just overheard me talking to somebody else about it. Stop being afraid of what people think of you and what they might think of you and what they might say. One of the things that helps me when I get a little nervy and anxious is literally my job is to offer. That's it. Not be emotionally connected to the reply. Yes, great. No, great. Whatever. My job, offer. Your job, decide. That's your job. I don't want to speak for you. I don't like people speaking for me. I'm not going to assume things about you. Oh, she looks like she can't afford it. Or, Oh, she looks like she's busy. Oh, I don't want to bother her. Oh, she's got a very, very big job she would never want to join. Stop it. Just do your job. Your job is just to offer. Your job is to make them smile, give them a compliment, and see where it goes from there. Don't make it any harder than that. Okay? Don't make it any harder. Just be you.
Just be you.
Well, thank you so much, Patty, for your time, because I know it's getting really late for you. And just sort of, you mentioned before with your one-on-ones, and I know you and I have talked about this, but something, and this actually came up for me when I did my in-home bingo, that you underestimate too when you invite someone. There are a lot of people who are just too busy. They are worried about the state of their house. Hello, that's me. I can tell you the idea of having that bingo event in my house freaked the living shit out of me. My children were under threat of death. My husband was not allowed near the house. He was told, do not come near it. I have got, for those of you who have been to my house, I pity you all. But I have, because I have a room in my house that is called, it's basically like the Twilight Zone, and it's just horrendous, and it's full of boxes, mostly Scentsy boxes now, and things go there to disappear. It's like the Bermuda Triangle, and it's, oh my God, it's horrendous. Anyway, so I managed to have this one area of my house that was okay to have it in. But other people have this problem in their house. Yes. And a lot of the reasons they don't want to host parties is because they are shit scared about having people to their house. Yes. So how can you make it easier for them to do that? Now, I know Sophie Fan is actually starting to offer up her own house. So Jennifer Martins is someone in Canada. She has a room in her house. So does there's a couple of other people in the States who do this. They have a room in their house and they actually offer the space themselves. If you are in a position to do that, you may be surprised that people might take you up on the offer of that.
And Thompson does that a lot.
There you go. And because people don't want to clean their friggin' houses.
And it's way easier.
Way easier. But think outside the square. I've actually done one on the back deck of a pub.
Oh, yep.
And it was actually really nice.
It was more people see it.
More people see it. But think outside the square, because I think people having it in their homes is something that is becoming an increasing problem. But for me, it's the trash zone. I can tell you now that is my problem. But the other thing is too, that when you have those smaller sessions, like you were saying, and you encourage them to bring someone, or you arrange for people to be basically there at the same time, you actually encourage them to create new social networks. And that was something that definitely happened at mine. And there was one of the ladies that was there, and she is basically a farmer. And because farmers are doing it really goddamn hard, and particularly in my area where irrigation's a huge problem, unfortunately we're part of the Murray-Darling Basin Plan, which is it's a huge problem with irrigation and paying for water over here, Patty, and it's a really, really bad thing where I live particularly. And she said, she has completely lost her social skills. And she said, I don't even know how to talk to people anymore. But coming to that day, it ended up only being quite small. But she said it was so good for her because she met new people and she learned how to talk to people again. So don't write off having those events yourself and getting those people to come along, because you may actually be offering them something way more than buying some stuff. I'll just add, she spent $300.
So sometimes we'll just say, I'm going to be somewhere and I'm going to have scents with me. If you want to stop in and have a coffee and smell stuff, I'll have them with me. I'm there all day from this time to this time. And sometimes people just go, oh, can we stop by? Can I bring so-and-so? Yep, go ahead. I don't have anything extra there. I just have my stuff there, but it's just me sitting in a booth having lunch.
Yeah, but that's just an interesting way to, encourage people to do that, because you may actually be them meeting other people is not a bad thing, because they may actually be creating that new social network. And you never know, when they maybe sometimes rediscover that within themselves, they may find the confidence to then go and host a party. And in fact, one of the guests that came to my event, she didn't book on the day, but about a couple of days later, she actually has now booked. It'll be a hoot. They're all 80. So
can they still smell?
Hilarious. But but that's what happens. So anyway, it's really late for you, Patty. Thanks, guys, for hanging around.
Sorry I got so long-winded. I get really passionate about things.
That's all right. I mean, look, we're so appreciative of your time and for the effort that you've put into coming along and for training us tonight. And purely because I put a call out, and for you guys that have tuned in, thank you for your efforts in coming along. This came because you guys asked for it. When you ask and you shall receive. This is certainly the number one topic that you guys were asking for. So when we put the call out there, and Patty was certainly one of the people that said she would come along and give us her expertise. It was awesome, and Patty has just offered then that if you have any questions that you can certainly PM her. So if you're looking for her, she is Patty Wonder, WUNDER, and her team is Team Wonder Bar. And so they and she was talking about the holiday, it's holiday sip and shop, you call it, isn't it? The Christmas thing, and you've done that for a couple of years now, isn't it? The holiday thing.
Yeah, this is our fourth one, and every year it just gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And
well, actually, there's a group of girls that are over in one area that I think that it could actually be something that would be really good for them. Quite a number of them that are in this one.
I think it's really nice for teams to get together to do things together. And also, if you have new people that maybe don't have a lot of stuff, it's a great place to take photos and meet the team. And a lot of people, again, that don't party, tons of people come to that.
Yeah, it's certainly it's actually one branch of the team that are over in this area.
Cool.
So it would be a really good opportunity for them to be able to do that. So anyway, well, thank you so much for your time. Thanks, guys, for tuning in. We are very lucky.
Kate got to hear us. I just realized. I'm like, Kate came back.
No, she came and she actually tuned in on her tablet, which was she didn't have much off on the phone, but the tablet able to do that. So and we've also been extremely lucky that Patty does have a Zoom account where she's able to record. So she has actually recorded the session for us tonight. So we are extremely grateful. So thank you again, Patty, for being able to do that for us, and thank you again for all your time and for putting tonight's session together for us. So hopefully you're feeling a bit better, and especially because you're not feeling well, so it's even more of an effort that you've come and done this for us. So after you
get pretty passionate about certain things, so it kind of just pushes the ickiness down, and I'm like, okay.
And you went for it. No, that's awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time, and thanks, guys, for tuning in, and hopefully you've all gotten something out of it, and we will go from there. Looking forward to hearing how you guys go with the offers that you make over the next week, and as we go into a new month, and how many of those offers actually turn into bookings, and the different ways that you make those offers to people, and what they turn into, and what you choose to call them. So definitely I think those one-on-ones are something to certainly to take advantage of. All right, so good night, and happy Sunday, and heading into a new week. So thank you so much, guys. Good night.